From the campus of Brigham Young University, Idaho, this is Latter-day Profiles, in-depth conversations with members of the Church of Jesus Christ of Latter-day Saints.
Hello and welcome to Latter-day Profiles. I'm Brian Howard. We're here on the campus of Brigham Young University, Idaho, and joining me today is David Archuleta. David, welcome.
Oh, thank you.
Thank you so much for being here. David recently has a book out, and it's called, Get It Right, Chords of Strength. Many people, pretty much everybody's going to recognize you, American Idol runner-up back in 2008. And of course, many people in our audience are going to say he was the winner, and you know what? I think in the end it turned out really good for you anyway.
Oh, thank you.
One of the things we want to start off with is talk about, most people got acquainted with you. I know I did through American Idol, and actually it got me hooked on the program, so I can blame that on you. It was fun to watch. But as I was reading through your book, I discovered that music's been a part of your life from when you were a child. Tell us a little about some of your favorite memories about as a child and how music became part of your life.
Well, it really started with when I was 6 years old when we first moved to Utah from Florida, and my dad put on the Les Miserables 10th anniversary tape to keep us entertained, and I just couldn't stop watching it. I was just so fascinated by the music, and I'd never seen anything like that before, and so it got me interested in other things like Joseph and the Technicolor Dreamcoat and Into the Woods and other musicals with just great music, and that's where it just really took off. And it's just been influenced since then, by my mom and my dad. My mom is into dancing and salsa music and just kind of Latin flavor kind of things, and then my dad was into like 70s rock and jazz music. And the next step where it really kind of was influenced was the first season of American Idol.
Yeah, I want to ask you, in some families growing up, and sometimes it's in the kitchen, they love to cook together, or whatever, they are all athletic or whatever it happens to be. As I was reading through your book, it seemed like that everybody, especially your parents and back grandparents, were all into music. They were all really into it. Was that so? If we would have stopped by your house growing up, would there be music playing all the time or singing going on all the time? What was the household like growing up for you?
I don't think there's really music playing all the time. I think we're kind of outdoorsy, kind of.
Yeah.
Just not like in the mountains, but just like to be outside and playing around and doing things normal little kids would do, and jumping on the trampoline, making up imaginary games and stuff. And I guess it was just more on that. I was actually really into like animals and dinosaurs when I was little, so I was really into that. So music didn't really take over until that first season of American Idol, when I actually got to see people perform and put their heart and soul into a song. It really fascinated me to see how much music could really do for people.
When I see you perform, and it's just amazing performances, fantastic voice. As I read in your book, I was really surprised at a younger age. Your dad kind of had to persuade you to get up on the stage at one of your first real talent competitions. Can you tell us a little bit about that? What was that like?
The talent show, it was for the Utah Talent Competition, and it was when I was 10 years old, and it was in the kids division, and I was just so nervous. I just really felt like people were gonna boo me or something, or not like my voice, and I guess judge me and stuff. And think badly of me, so I was really scared. I didn't know what people were going to think of me. All I did was, I just like to sing. I didn't really think of like showing it off or anything. So I actually just liked how it made me feel when I got to sing. I didn't really understand how it would affect other people then, and how music really touched me. I just knew how it affected me. And so I was, when the competition came around and I was about to go on, there were just a few more people before I was going to go on, and I started panicking and hyperventilating and kind of freaking out. And all the ladies who were working, and they're like, "You don't have to go on if you don't want to." And I was like, it was pretty bad. But like 5 minutes before, I got the nerves to go up, and it turned out really well. I wasn't sure how people were going to react, but I just went for it anyway, and I ended up winning the kids division, so it turned out well. So, yeah.
All's well that ends well, right?
Yeah.
You know, one thing about that story that you wrote that interested me is that you said your dad took you out and said, let's go say a prayer and see if that could calm you down.
Yeah.
And that seemed like a theme throughout all your book, is that you're looking for some help from Heavenly Father to help you out. Is that something that's been a major part of your life?
Yeah, I think that's where, there are a lot of, things that get you nervous and can be a little scary. The place I would always find comfort is from just asking Holy Father for strength and for that comfort, and just saying a prayer. I think it's really important to always say a prayer, because that always keeps you in check and helps you remember that God is there and that you are able to get help from Him and strength from Him. Because I think if you can get carried away in whatever you're doing and forget to pray, you forget that you have Him that close to you, and to remember what you're doing, like the reason why you're doing what you're doing. And so I think prayer always just helps you know that He's there no matter what you're going through, and that He understands and that He can help you get through it.
I think it took me a long time. I never thought about when I was younger that you could have like Heavenly Father's help or the Spirit with you. We're doing things like singing or performing. I always thought, you go to church and you feel the Spirit there, but maybe not when I'm playing basketball or something like that. But that seemed to be something that you've really discovered. Is that something when you're performing that you feel like you can draw upon that power to have a Spirit with you when you perform?
Music, I think, even when I was 6 years old, I think it was the Spirit that I was feeling like that led me to do that. And it was interesting because I didn't realize that until I was writing the book and really trying to think about, what drew me to music, what were those feelings I was feeling, and how did it make me feel, and why did I feel so good when I got to sing for people, and when I was later getting to see how it affected other people, and wondering why they liked it, and why they, someone would start crying or something like that. And it's like, it's not because it's not really like me necessarily. It's like, I think it's because they're able to feel the same thing that I've been able to feel. And that, that's the Spirit. And I've always felt like that was really important to do with music, because it's like if Heavenly Father wants me to do anything with music, I think He wants people to feel that same feeling. And so that's always been a goal of mine to, whether, it's just fun music or, more serious or emotional and deep. I think He just wants people to be able to feel that, and just be able to give them kind of a better outlook and more positive outlook on life and stuff. And
One of the things I noticed is that you could call them coincidences. You've had a lot of things kind of line themselves up in your life to make things happen that sometimes they didn't seem like they were such a great thing, like maybe when your vocal cords were hurt. But you had it was an amazing weekend. You went down to watch American Idol, I think it was the 6th season or something like that, or maybe before that. And you met all these people and things turned out and you were performing. Tell us a little bit about that. I thought it was like just amazing, one thing after that happened to give you exposure to some really neat people.
Well, when we went down to California, and my dad surprised me with tickets to the season finale of that first season of American Idol.
Okay.
And there was a competition going on for tickets. Like, you could win tickets, and I didn't know that we already had tickets by that point, but we went down and watched the people perform, and I was too young to be in the contest. But we got to see everyone else singing and trying to win the tickets, and there's some really good singers. And afterwards, some of the contestants from that season of the top 10 came out and signed some pictures for people, and me and my aunt and I went up to them, and she's like, just like a few weeks ago, before that, I think, or just not too long before that, one of my neighbors had seen was watching Jenny Jones, and had me, and she told us about it. It was for like Future Latino Stars or whatever, and my dad played a recording of me to the producer of the show, and so I went and did that, and one of the contestants from the show was also there.
Oh, yeah.
They had him come on Jenny Jones after American Idol for him, and so I got to meet him, and so when we went out, you know, back to when we were down in Hollywood and stuff, my aunt said, you know, he met AJ Gill, and you know, if you could just tell him hi. And so they told us that they were just at the hotel next door and that we could come over and say hi the next day. And I went over there, and I saw AJ, and he was really surprised to see me there, and I was excited to see him. And he's like, come over, I want you to meet everyone. And I couldn't believe that I was actually seeing everyone. I was really surprised because I thought I was just going to say hi to AJ really quick, and then he was like, sing for them. And I was just kind of put on the spot there, but I was nervous, but I sang for them, and it was really exciting. You know, Kelly Clarkson was there, and it was neat getting to sing for her, and I just couldn't believe, because these people, I looked up to them so much. They had taught me so much about singing and performing and introduced me to so many songs that I'd never heard of before. And so it was just a really neat experience, and it was fun. You know, I talked to Kelly now later, and she had remembered that, and she was like, you know, she's like, hey, I remember when you were little and you came over and sang for us, and it was just fun.
How old were you when that happened? Do you remember?
I was 11.
11 years old. And I'm just thinking, you're on the spot, say, hey, come and sing for us, and hear all these kind of your idols, I guess, to put it kind of a pun, I guess. But just a cappella, just out, you start singing for them?
Yeah, I mean, I don't know. I don't really understand exactly how my mind worked back then, and why I was so afraid to go up to people, and I was so afraid to sing unless people asked me to, because I felt like it would be rude or like snobby to just, you know, to sing unless someone had asked me to sing. So once someone had asked me, then I felt like, okay, once someone asked me, then I can just, you know, let the song out and just get into it. But until then, I was just like, didn't want to even be seen or anything. I was just really, I don't know what was going on, but I just loved getting to sing so much that when I'd been given the opportunity and someone had asked me, then I felt comfortable to just, I guess I just forgot about everything else and just concentrated on the song and let the emotion out.
Yeah, yeah.